First and foremost, I'm incredibly proud of the fact that Stronghold Digital Mining was able to play a constructive role in helping to stabilize the PJM grid over the past approximately 48 to 72 hours. There was an incredibly powerful weather system that moved into the northeastern part of the United States, which affected Pennsylvania, which is where both of our electric producing power plants are located. And that storm, that weather system, brought with it incredibly cold temperatures and a lot of snow for some parts of the region. At one point, PJM, the grid itself, was asking customers to please use as little electricity as possible to help keep the grid from unraveling. I mean, when you have a situation where demand is skyrocketing and supply is limited, the byproduct of that oftentimes is incredibly high grid prices. I have never seen to date grid prices as high as I've seen them over the past couple days. Specifically, December 23rd in the morning, I noticed when I would go to my homemade dashboard at designer.com, where I track a variety of variables that pertain to Stronghold Digital Mining, I noticed that grid prices for both the Penelec zone of the grid as well as the PPL zone of the grid, these prices just kept going up throughout the day. Oftentimes around maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, they might spike up a bit, and then they might spike up again around 5 o'clock. But generally speaking, you don't see a situation, or at least I haven't seen a situation, where from morning, from sunrise to sunset, the price just keeps going up and up and up. $100 a megawatt hour, $200, $300, $500, $700, $900 a megawatt hour. I wake up in the middle of the night. This is already December 24th. And I just happened to glance at my my phone, and I'm looking at the dashboard, and it's showing me grid prices in excess of $3,000 a megawatt hour. I didn't believe it. I thought, well, maybe there was some sort of error in my homemade software. I mean, I'm not a computer scientist. I'm not a computer programmer. This is something that I've been cobbling together while teaching myself sort of how to do it. And so I thought, well, surely there must be a mistake. This can't quite be right. But then I confirmed that, yes, these numbers were accurate. So assuming, and I have no reason to doubt this, assuming both Scrubgrass, our electric plant in the Penelec zone of the PJM grid, as well as Panther Creek, which is located in the PP&L zone of the grid, assuming both plants were online, we were not only helping to stabilize the grid, but we were making potentially just like a ton of revenue. Now, I want to sort of like balance my enthusiasm, my incredible enthusiasm for our potential business success with the fact that, yes, this was a devastating weather system. It brought incredibly cold temperatures. There's a lot of human hardship and suffering that comes from weather like that. So I want to balance my enthusiasm, which is very real and very palpable. I mean, I really couldn't go back to sleep that night practically. I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. And these high energy prices, by the way, like into the thousands of dollars, that sustained itself for hour after hour after hour after hour. This wasn't just a 45-second blip on the radar, and then grid prices went back down to like $50. No, they were in like the thousands of dollars for many, many, many hours. I want to balance that enthusiasm for the potential for our company to have done really well during that period of time, in a win-win way, right? In the sense that, hey, we're helping to stabilize the grid. That's a win for everybody. And it's also a win for us because it gives us the opportunity to generate some really useful revenue. I want to balance that, of course, with the fact that, I read in the Wall Street Journal, Buffalo, just a lot of human hardship, a lot of human suffering that took place. And I want to acknowledge that because it affects me. I mean, I see that and it bothers me. It sucks. But we don't have any control over that as a company, right? As shareholders, as people who are rooting for Stronghold Digital Mining, we don't control the weather. So with all of that said, this has been a transformative end, I believe, to Q4 2022. And as I'm recording this, grid prices are still kind of on the higher side. I mean, $150, $200. You know, they've kind of gotten a bit back more to normal, you know, whatever that's going to be, but they're still a bit on the elevated side. So this has been transformational. I really think that this is going to contribute tremendously to our Q4 2022 results. And I think it's going to help differentiate us, factually differentiate us from our peers who typically only have one option, mine Bitcoin or not. We have the option of either mining Bitcoin or alternatively selling our power, the electricity that we create, selling it to the grid. And we can do whichever makes the most sense from a financial perspective. And over the past 48 to 72 hours, what has made the most sense is to help stabilize the grid and to, in the process, generate an incredible amount of revenue, which I do believe will be reflected in our Q4 2022 results when they're released in the months ahead. So I'm excited. This is good stuff. All right, see you in the next one.